How's it going, everybody? Marvel Across 316 coming back to you live to the power of the internet, and this is probably going to be my last video for the year of 2014. 2014 has been a pretty good year for me. I got to graduate high school and got to collect some pretty cool comics, pick up some pretty cool comics this year, I bet. But enough about that. This video is all about Vincru12000. Such a great guy. He's doing a contest that I want to enter in. It's 450 subs contest. Vincru, I learned a lot from you. You know so much about comic books that it's just I take in everything that you say, and I absorb it like a sponge, and that's what I try to do. I try to absorb as much knowledge as I can from all your videos. I really enjoy your videos, and I believe that you're going to continue to make some very great videos, and you'll be hitting 500 subs. If you haven't already, you'll be hitting 500 subs, and you're going to go on up there maybe to even 1,000 subs soon. I could just see it. But here we go, and ignore all these comics. I mean, this is just like a little display right here. I mean, you wouldn't want me to make a video of me just looking at a bare wall or anything. You want to look at comic books while I'm going to be doing these questions. So here we go. Question number one. Your question number one was all about what do I predict will happen to the comic industry in the few years that will come. In the comic book industry, I believe it's going to grow and grow. Especially with all the movies coming out, especially with Marvel. They've been making some very great Marvel movies, and I believe that the comic industry will get popular than it already is right now. I mean, you just look at how it's gotten since all these great movies like the Adventures and stuff have come out. Families have been going to movie theaters now. Kids younger than I am are loving all these characters from the movies, and I believe it's just making comic books even more popular than it already is. I think that's what answers number two as well, is there a bubble in the industry? And I don't really see a bubble in the industry right now. It's nowhere near as bad as it was in the 1990s with the people just buying way too much stuff and speculating and all this crap, and it's nowhere near as bad as the 1990s, and I'm glad it's not nowhere near that. I think we've learned our lesson. Hopefully we won't go back to how it was in the 1990s with comic book collecting, because all the value of comic books and stuff just went down. I don't even collect comics from the 90s. I just don't have no desire to even collect comics from the 90s unless it's like a key issue. I just stick with Bronze Age. Mostly that's what I try to pick up, is Bronze Age. And question number three is make a suggestion to improve Marvel, DC, and Image comics. Well, for one thing, I don't even read Image comics. And DC comics, I mean, I don't even read that much either. I'm more of a Marvel guy. But I don't even read new comics either. It's not that I don't like new comics. When I go to a comic book store, I like to pick up back issues from the 70s and 80s. That's just what I like to collect and what I like to read, because the artwork and everything was beautiful back then. Not saying the artwork is beautiful now, currently. I love watching everybody's videos on the comic book community when they like review books and stuff. I'm really interested in what they have to say. But collecting new comics for me is just not what I do. It's not what I do right now. So I really don't have a suggestion on how to improve current comic books in the industry right now, because I don't really read newer comics. But maybe just like with all the titles, I know with Amazing Spider-Man, They got the new series out with that, and you gotta collect probably, I don't know if this is true, but you gotta like pick up as many titles as you can to understand the story real well, and I don't really like that. I know a lot of people complain about that, and I would not want to pick up as many titles as possible, like 5 or 6 different titles to understand a storyline. Give me a break. If you want to do a storyline, it needs to be in just one book. That's my view on that. Question number 4, if I could choose an artist to draw and ink like a portrait of me, that's a tough question, actually. That's a really tough question. Probably either Neil Adams or John Romita Sr. would have to draw me. I would love to see myself drawn by John Romita Sr. He's one of my favorite artists. It's John Romita Sr. So probably John Romita Sr. I'd choose him. Question number 5. I love this question. It's like 4 parts to this question that you put out. If I could choose one of the two and they're both in the same grade, Showcase number 4 or Fantastic Four number 1, I would have to choose Fantastic Four number 1 because Fantastic Four number 1, it really started the Silver Age for Marvel Comics, and it's the very first superhero group to become popular, and without the Fantastic Four, there would be no Spider-Man, there would not be X-Men, there would not be all these great teams and stuff, Avengers and stuff. I love Fantastic Four, and I try to pick them up as best I can, and I just thank Stan Lee and Jack Kirby for coming up with such a great team, because they really changed Marvel Comics forever. And then you're going to want me to choose from Batman number 1 or Amazing Spider-Man number 1, and that's pretty tough as well because I'm such a Spider-Man fan. As you can see, I got a bunch of Spider-Man covers right here. But I'd probably choose Batman number 1 just because it's worth more. Plus, I mean, it's a golden age key. It's a golden age key. And Amazing Spider-Man number 1 is, I would like to have it, but just like what Hero Hunter 81 said, I would rather have Amazing Fantasy 15. I'd rather have that comic than Amazing Spider-Man number 1 if I was going to choose. And then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 1 or Walking Dead number 1, I'd probably choose Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles just because I'm not really a Walking Dead fan. I mean, zombies and all that, it's not my thing. I've watched maybe 1 or 2 episodes on AMC, and I never got hooked to it, and I don't know if I would get hooked to the comics either. I don't have any Walking Dead comics, so I'd choose Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I grew up watching them, and I was born in the 90s, but still I know a lot about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that's part of my childhood. So, and then lastly but not least, it was New Mutants number 98 or the Batman Harley Quinn cover. I'd have to choose New Mutants number 98 because I love Deadpool, and even though I like him, I don't really have many of his comics. I'd like to start a run of that and just get New Mutants number 98 because I think it's an iconic cover, New Mutants 98. I know so many people who have that comic, and I wish I could find it out in the wild. So that concludes my little 5 questions right there. Vincru, you're a great guy, and you're going to continue to make some very great comic book videos. And as always, y'all have a Merry Christmas. I had this little comic book right here because it's a Christmas issue from Marvel Team Up, issue 127. I'm wishing y'all a happy Christmas, Merry Christmas. I'll see y'all in 2015, and boy oh boy, I bet it's going to be a great year for everybody. See y'all next time. Have a happy Merry Christmas.